Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, gonna give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. Alright, just finna get into this quick lesson. Alright, I was just reading. I was in the book of Nehemiah, the 9th chapter. And, a key point or a point that stood out to me, was, the prophets, all right? Because, the prophets is a very important important thing in this life now, because the prophets are here. We're here to warn you of the things to come that's about to befall this earth, all right? And we're telling you that, hey, get right with y'all by Shemal Shah, before, judgment, hits, But yeah, the 9th chapter, is just basically going into history, how Israel will fall. They will, the Lord will, how Yahweh Shemal Shah delivered them out of Egypt, things of that nature, But this was right here. This is the key point right here. Nehemiah 9:29 it says, "And testify against them, that thou mightest bring them again unto the law. Yet they dealt proudly, and hearkened not unto thy commandments." All right. So see, and yeah, Yahweh Shemal Shah, right now is testifying against you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, that hey, get right with Yahweh, get right with me, Salakia. But yeah, the Lord's like, hey, through his prophets, he's telling you to get right with him. All right? We're telling you, hey, get right with Yahweh Shemal Shah. Come back to the ways of Yahweh Shemal Shah. Let me get something real quick. This is Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16. "Thus said the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein." So see, you're supposed to be seeking out the old paths, all right? Especially in the times that we're in now, all right? We're as a so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, we are the biblical Israelites. All right, so we're supposed to be what? Coming back to the ways of Yahweh Shemal Shah. All right, following after the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our abilities. Following after the whole Bible to the best of our ability, It says, but they said, we will not walk therein. Yep. Jay get rebellious, all right, and tell, and talk shit to the prophets. All right. And guess what? Also I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken. Also, I thought I said something else with it too. But yeah, hey, Jay get rebellious, They don't want to hearken, all right? And that's going to be for your own demise, So again, back in Nehemiah 9:29, "And testified against them, that thou mightest bring them again unto thy law. Yet they dealt proudly, and hearkened not unto thy commandments." All right? "But sin against thy judgments." All right? And yeah, see, Jake just get, the Lord is out here telling you, Yahweh Shemal Shah got his prophets out here telling you to get right. All right? Because, hey, great judgment is about to come. And if you're not right with Yahweh Shemal Shah, you're gonna die, Simple as that. As the scriptures say, death by pain, It says, "But sin against thy judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them." All right? Because, according to Baruch, the 4th chapter, Salakia. Here, I'm going to get this real quick. And not just Baruch, but, first one that popped up in my head. You know, because they walking in the ways of Yahweh Shem Shah, that's life. All right? Because that's our whole duty, as it says in Sirach or Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. You know, that our whole duty as men is to serve Yahweh Shem Shah and what? Keep his commandments. Or Salakia, fear Yahweh Shem Shah and keep his commandments. But this is Baruch 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of Yahweh Shem Shah, in the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. All right, and as simple as that. You keeping it, all right. You keeping the ways of Yahweh Shem Shah. All right, that's life. All right, but if you leave it, you know, you don't want to come to it, hey, you're gonna die. You know, as it says, whoso despises the word. Here, let me get that too real quick. This is one of my first precepts that I was bringing out. Proverbs 13 and 13. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed. So see, you despise, you hate Yahweh Shem Shah words. All right, because the Esau Edom, so-called white man, taught you how to live in this life. Basically, it's contrary to the ways of Yahweh Shem Shah. But now, since the prophets is out here telling you that, hey, this is how you really should be living. You should not be out here committing adultery. You should not be out here, eating abominable foods, gang banging. All right. So when you hear this word, you know, you're supposed to, you know, come to it and let it resonate in you, you know. But nah, niggas, guess what? They hear it. It goes contrary to their lifestyle. They're like, oh, fuck, you know, I don't want to know. You know, just start talking shit. So guess what? Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed. So yeah, you're going to be destroyed if you despise Yahweh Shem Shah's words, you know. But he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. So see, you fear, and the word fear going into reverence, all right, respect, all right. You reverencing it, you respecting it within your daily life. Hey, guess what? You're going to be rewarded for that, all right. Rewarded with salvation, you know. So back in Nehemiah 9 and verse 29, it says, but sin against thy judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them, and withdrew the shoulder and hardened their neck and would not hear. Yep. And, you know, history repeats itself, you know. History repeats itself. Just real quick, I'm going to get some, you know, because it talks about that shoulder, you know. As it says in Zechariah the 7th chapter, Zechariah 7 and verse 8. And the word of the Lord came unto Zechariah, saying, thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, execute true judgment, and show mercy and compassion every man to his brother, and oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. All right? And yeah, the prophets that you see out here now, that's out there in the highways and byways doing these video epistles, all right, we're coming in the stead of all these prophets, all right? Zechariah, all right, Jeremiah, Isaiah, all right? We're coming in the stead of all of them, all right? Because we're preaching the same message, all right? We're all doing the work of the Lord, all right? But yeah, we're telling you, hey, get right with Yahweh Shem Shah, deal right, all right? Verse 11, but they refused to hearken and pulled away the shoulder and stopped their ears that they should not hear. Yep. You know, just like, hey, you try to get somebody's attention, or you try to speak to somebody, you touch their shoulder, like, let me tell you something. But, you know, a nigga, they snatch that shit, you know, they snatch their shoulder, you know. And that's exactly how a nigga is, you know. They snatch that shoulder, all right? Like, nigga, stop touching me, you know. I don't want to hear what you talking about. But that's the spirit that Jake come in, you know. Yeah, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, all right. unbreakable stubbornness, lest they should hear the law and the words which the Lord of hosts has sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came in great wrath from the Lord of hosts. So see? And guess what? For your rebellion, all right, niggas that don't want to listen to Yahweh Shemel prophets, all right, you're going to be destroyed, all right? Because we're coming into times of great judgment. All right, Yahweh Shemel is about to send great judgments on this earth. All right, as the scriptures say, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth. All right, the whole earth is just polluted with just wickedness. All right, you don't think Yahweh Shemel is going to do anything about that? When the Lord is all about righteousness, the Lord hates evil. All right, and niggas don't. Hey, niggas act like Esau, the so-called white man. They don't take they don't take no thought into their actions. They don't take no thought into what's gonna happen. Oh, for me being a sodomite, you know, the Lord could possibly get me for this. Hey, Jake, don't think like that. And guess what? Great wrath from Yahweh Shemel Shah is gonna come upon you. Upon them. So back in Nehemiah 9 and verse 30, and this is the point right here. Yet many years didst thou forbear them, and testified against them by the Spirit and thy prophets. So see, many years now. All right, because real quick, I'm gonna get something else. Just real quick, because history repeats itself, as I just said. This is Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. So see, Yahweh Shemel Shah sending the prophets, all right, it's always been going on. All right, the Lord warns before he judges. All right. And as I said, many years, all right, many years. Same thing now, right? What, since 1969, since Yahweh Shemel Shah woke up Elder Abba Bivens, all right, on down now to Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Racha, Apostle Ramlab, all right, just been warning 40, I'm slacking, not 40, around like 60 years, just a warning that, hey, Yahweh Shemel Shah is about to destroy America, all right, and get right, So many years has Yahweh Shemel Shah been, been giving out that warning, all right? So again, it says Nehemiah 9 and verse 30, yet many years didst thou forbear them, and testified against them by the Spirit and thy prophets, yet would they not give ear. Therefore gavest thou into the hand of the people of the land. So see, because look, real quick, Ezekiel 3 and 17, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. So see, we're giving warning. All right, Yahweh Shemel Shah got his prophets out here giving you warning. All right, because the devil, the so-called white man, is about to come down with great wrath. That's prophecy. All right, the word prophecy going into say before. We're telling you of the things that's about to come before it happens. All right, and if you don't want to listen to Yahweh Shemel Shah, guess what? You're going to be caught up in the judgments. All right, the judgments that's about to come, it ain't about to be pretty. You're not just about to get shot in the head and then just go to the spirit. Nah, the Lord is going to make you feel that pain. All right, the Lord is going to allow you to be terrified out here. Cause look, real quick. Cause what it say? he gave them into the people of the land, you know. And it's going to same thing going to happen now. Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the habitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, all right, they understand that their rulership is about to be over, all right? Because as the scriptures say, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, all right? They have the possession of the earth right now, all right? But they understand that, hey, our kingdom, their kingdom is about to fall, and our kingdom is about to be on the rise, all right? So guess what? They're going to take down as many Israelites as they can, all right? And guess what? The Lord is going to allow a lot of niggas to die, all right, by the so-called white man. Why? Because they don't want to listen, you know? Because the so-called white man is the Lord's sword, you know? He's the whoop, you know? He's that belt, all right? The so-called white man is the belt for the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans' ass, you know? Isaiah 10 and verse 5. O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation. So see, the Assyrian represented Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. It said, the rod of my anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation. I will send him against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. All right? So see, Yahweh Shem Shah is going to allow the so-called white man to come down upon niggas that don't want to listen to Yahweh Shem Shah's prophets. All right? If you don't want to listen, guess what? You're going to get caught up out here. All right? The Lord is going to allow the so-called white man to have his way with you. You know? You get caught up in a famine. All right? You get caught up, you know, being sent off to these concentration camps, you know, being tortured. All right? All types of things is going to be all types of judgments gonna be handed out to niggas that don't want to listen. All right, rebellious niggas, you know, and it's well needed, you know. Cause hey, you got niggas out here talking about that. What's that one video? A nigga is like, hey, Trump. He was like, Trump, don't send them National Guard troops, you know, to Chicago. You know, these niggas out here, these YN, they a different breed. They got switches. And you got niggas like that talking. All right? See, people, see? You know? Jake is just through. You know? They don't understand prophecy. You know? Why? Because they don't want to hearken to Yahweh Shem Shah's prophets. You know? This is where this is the secret place, you know? This is where Yahweh, here, real quick. Just get this real quick. Amos 3:7. Surely the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shah, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. All right? What's the secrets? Prophecy. The understanding of the scriptures. The understanding of the things that's about to come. All right? So the prophets got the understanding. All right? They got the you know, the basically they could see into the future. All right, we could see into the future basically. All right, concerning prophecy. All right, we're doing Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. You know, here I'm gonna get this. You know, here Matthew 10 and verse 27. What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light. What ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetop. So see, where that darkness, what it says, what I tell you in darkness. All right, the Lord is telling us. All right, how's he telling us? You know, us, you know, watching these videos in our own, you know, free time. All right, learning from the apostles and elders. All right, and guess what? We're bringing out the message. All right, we're forwarding the message. All right. It says, and what you hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetops. All right. Yeah, we're out here sounding, we're out here, letting everybody know, letting all, we got, we're publishing it, these videos on YouTube. Jake, get these videos, you know. Jake can inquire, All right. So hey, if you don't want to listen to the prophets, say you're gonna get caught up in, some serious judgments. The Lord's gonna allow the so-called white man to have his way with you. So that was pretty much it. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Gonna give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, or Chakodash. Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. All right, Shalom.